All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night at whatever time you may view this particular live stream. I am your host, Darshawn McAway, and hopefully everything is going good. Make sure I'm hearing audio in my headphones. Let me make sure everything is good. I'm having some delayed issues on my end, but I'm seeing myself now. Okay. The Indian Jesus, his camera is buffering. So we're going to do it like this, guys. So we're going to be waiting for Henry to come on in. I'm going to pull myself up on the big screen real quickly, the Indian Jesus. And I'm going to just kind of give a little background on what's going on with a lot of things. The show is going to happen. So a couple streams ago, maybe just say roughly about a good 3 weeks ago, Henry and I were talking on the scenes and behind the scenes about I Didn't Read Your Book podcast, which is hosted by Lutch. Now, Lutch decided to do some branding and change his name to the Indian Jesus. Okay, no problem. So I decided to reach out to him and say, hey, man, I consider you a friend. I see you as a friend. Are you sure about the name? And in that, I had spoke to Henry, and Henry was like, that's blasphemy. Why is he using the name Jesus just to make some money? So I told Henry, I said, listen, man, I talked to him. He's just trying to figure his way out. He's just trying to get some things going. Just give him some slack a little bit, right? He'll figure it out. And if it's something really wrong with it, there'll be some other people that'll come out and say some things to him. Well, lo and behold, Henry wanted to come up with the last call for salvation on behalf of Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus. And it was his attempt, if you will, to reach out to the Indian Jesus by saying, hey, man, you don't have to do this just to make some money. Give your life over to Christ, give life over to God, and things will change for you, right? So in that, today's stream is about Henry and the Indian Jesus coming to a common ground with each other, maybe to get some clear understanding. There are some things that have been said on the scene, if you will, about one another, respectfully and disrespectfully. And I want to make sure that as a person who knows both of them and really wishes well for both, for them to be progressive, that they can kind of come to a mutual understanding, because it is hard being the person in the middle of some of the controversy that is happening between the two. So we want to welcome the Indian Jesus to the channel right now. And then we're going to give you guys a brief description of what today's show is going to be about once Henry steps on the scene. Indian Jesus, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing great. Thank you for accepting the conversation.
Absolutely. That is exactly what the nature of this channel, and specifically the name, is about. I've come from a religious family, and I understood the whole notion of blasphemy and all of that. But it was a challenge to people to be able to engage with ideas as opposed to, just labels. And so over on the Indian Jesus, we do live streaming, and we talk about a lot of different things where we are able to pick apart what is being said, the ideas that are being discussed, rather than what team is this person on, or is this a person that we like because we're told to like them, things like that. We just want to get to the truth of whatever it is that we're talking about. And we have a good time while we're doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's do this. Go ahead and tell people where they can find your channel. And keep in mind, we're talking to people on the replay as well, because a lot of people don't get an opportunity to catch the live. So go ahead and plug your channel. And then we should be getting ready to bring Henry in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so you just go to youtube.com/TheIndianJesus official. You can also find me on social media at IndianJesus off, like official, IndianJesus off. And I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So definitely subscribe if you like the content. And we've also got a Discord server open that's really pretty active, and that's where you can go find me whenever we're not on stream, as well as talk about, hey, you should talk about this, you should talk about that. I'm open to pretty much any conversation.
Gotcha.
Including this one.
So, right. So, okay, let's do this. So this is, I put Henry versus the Indian Jesus, because kind of the brawl for it all type of deal. But I want to read the description in which I put for the stream, so you guys can kind of understand the gist of where it's going. So atheism is, in the broadest sense, a rejection of any belief and the existence of God. However, the believers have never doubted the existence of God. Why do people question God's everlasting love and existence? in this stream, we're going to be exploring the Indian Jesus and why he mocks the Lord's name in vain, and why he also became an atheist. Henry's stance is to seek God and you shall find all that you need, and God will give you your heart's desires. But this may not be the debate to be won, but more so a firm grasp or understanding on life. So that's my gist of where I want this to go. I kind of want you guys to kind of see the balance and the understanding of life, if you will. So is there anything you want to say and get off your chest? Oh, by all means, promote all you want to. I love that. It doesn't bother me not one bit. Is there anything you want to say before we bring them in? We still got a few minutes.
So no, I just want to commend you and thank you for properly and accurately representing what atheism is. A lot of people, understandably so, don't understand exactly what atheism is and think that atheism is the claim that there is no God or there's no gods. That is simply not what that is. Some people think that being agnostic is kind of a middle ground and be like, I don't really know. But, those are two very different words. Gnosticism coming from knowledge and theism, belief in a god or gods. And so I identify myself as an agnostic. I do not know. Atheist. I do not hold a belief in a god or gods. That doesn't mean I reject outright. I claim that there is no God. I could, I'm open to evidence, and anybody could convince me that God exists with the proper evidence. So I want to thank you for putting that out first. But really, yeah, that's all I am. I'm a guy who, like most atheists, simply have not accepted that claim. There are some people out there who are, looking to prove that there is no God. I'm not one of those people. Those people may also be atheists, but that's not. There's no doctrine of atheism. It is simply in the same way that you don't believe in unicorns or leprechauns. It's not that you hate leprechauns or you hate unicorns or that you, anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's simply, do you believe that they exist? No. Could you be convinced if a unicorn walked through your lawn? I'm sure you'd be convinced if you saw one. And so that's the exact same position that atheists hold. As far as being atheist, once you are an atheist, you can determine to be a Gnostic atheist, but that's all atheism is.
Okay, so let me ask you this: at what point, and if you don't know the answer, just say you don't know. But at what point do you speak to children about the belief system or being spiritual?
I think you could start that early. I think that having spirituality is definitely a positive thing. I think the issue comes in when you are indoctrinating children into one specific type of spirituality, more specifically when it comes to a specific text of dogma that has a specific set of rules and claims that cannot be proven. So, I mean, from very early on, the idea of there's something bigger than us, there's a whole universe out there. It's not just you, that we want to be stewards of the earth, all of this kind of stuff. I think there's so many good values in religion, whether it's Christianity or otherwise. There's so many good values. And I think that those are swept under the table by atheists, who are the ones that I was talking about earlier, who are either just in their angry militant stage, which similar to like the dating red pill. We talk about red pill rage. It's kind of when you first realize or you think, whatever your position is, that all these things that I believed, all these things that I knew are lies. That's the position. That's your belief at the time, and so that makes you angry. That everybody that I trusted, my parents, my pastors, my aunts and uncles, everybody around me told me this is how the world works, and you have to do this, that, and the other because this is how the world works. And then when you come to the determination, whether you guys believe it or not, but when the atheist comes to the determination that's not true, that comes with some anger. And I think it would definitely benefit people to be exposed to Christianity and Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism and all of these things very early on, because again, spirituality is very important. I just don't think that's the same thing as religiosity. There we go.
Got you. All right. So Henry's in the back. I'm going to bring him up right now from the green room. We may have to do just a simple audio check just to be sure. All right. It's cutting in and out on my end.
Yeah, I'm hearing the same.
Okay, getting the same. Yeah, your microphone is scratchy. It's scratchy right now. Let's bring you up on the big screen real quickly. And ladies and gentlemen that are watching in the audience, please excuse us while we go through minor technical difficulties, but we're going to get this show rocking and rolling. So don't worry. All right, Henry. So I see you perfectly on the screen here. Let's go ahead and do just a countdown from 5.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Any
Absolutely
better,
perfect. That's perfect. Yep. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's
Fantastic.
perfect. All right, so
we're
going to bring everybody up on the screen. So we're going to do just a minor recap, just a minor recap. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking with Henry and the IndianJesus. We're going to find out what's the discrepancy between the two, and can they come to a common ground? If you look at the description, you'll see that it's very detailed about what's going on between being a believer and a non-believer. So who wants to start with their question first, Henry or the IndianJesus?
Lutch, why don't you go ahead and start it off?
Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you. I hope you're doing well today. So, I mean, really quickly, we just kind of went over how Darshan accurately represented what atheism is in the description of this this video. And not to rehash the whole thing, but specifically that atheism is not the claim that God does not exist. It is simply a rejection of the claim that he does. And I use the analogy of unicorns and leprechauns. You don't, in the same way that you don't hold ill will towards any unicorns or leprechauns, I don't hold ill will towards any god or gods. I simply have not yet been convinced that there is a god or gods. I'm open to that interpretation, and I think that is the most rational and humble position to take when it comes to the question of does God exist. So I guess my question to you is that position something that you find offensive, or is it really just the name?
Well, Lutch, to tell you the truth, and Lutch, not just for you, but for everybody else out there, we've done 7 videos. Darshan and I have done 7 videos. Number 1, are you happy with your life? Number 2, do you want revenge for something? Number 3, what is hell like? Number 4, what is heaven like? Number 5, well, you know, tattoos? I don't want to say the word when you get rid of children that you don't want. That subject. The AB word, that was the 5th one. The 6th one that we did was you're going to live forever, whether you like it or not. That was number 6. And number 7 was tattoos and such. Folks, Lutch, everybody else out there, there are 7 videos out there related specifically to every freaking thing that's going on in all of your lives. Listen to those 7 videos. God, forget religion. Forget Buddha. Buddha's dead. Forget Muhammad. He's dead. You can go to their grave sites. Jesus Christ is the only grave site you can go to, and the grave is empty. Why do we talk? Folks, you're missing the point, everybody. Get this straight. God doesn't give a crap about what you think. Get that through your heads, people. Get that through your heads. Your philosophy and what you think on life and, you know, my take on it, and this is my opinion, God simply doesn't care about anyone's opinion but his. He makes that quite clear in the Bible, people. I've made it quite clear. 7 videos. We talk for an hour. That's over, some of them over an hour. It's over 7 hours of me telling you.
Henry, folks, can I interrupt you real quick, please?
Go right ahead.
Do you remember the question that I asked you?
No, I don't, because what I'm saying is all. I'm going to tell you why I don't remember it.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. Because you want me to explain something that's already explained in the Bible. First of all, none of you can say anything until you read the Bible. You want to talk and have a discussion and have these StreamYards and have these shows about a subject you know nothing about.
I thought this was a conversation for you and I to talk.
Much when we first talked together, I asked you, did you read the Bible? You said yes, but
Right.
by what you speak about and the question that you just asked, you haven't read it yet. You cannot talk about something that you don't know.
Oh, so I must have made that up.
Have you read the King James version of the Bible?
As I told you.
Here we go again. You can't
There's
even give me a straight answer.
There's talk about videos that are online. You can watch the videos of me specifically talking about going through Genesis, going through all of the books as far as I
So how come you hate God? How come you hate God?
As I said before, I do not hate God in the same way I do not hate unicorns or leprechauns. So let's go back to the original question.
Unicorns and leprechauns did not go to the cross and save you from going to hell. Do you believe in a hell? Do you believe in heaven?
Nope.
Well, in that case, then what are we talking about? You want to?
Well, I asked you a very pointed question. That's what we're talking about.
You don't believe.
I don't know what you're talking about. You seem to be just preaching from your pulpit. I asked you a very specific question. I thought we were here to have a conversation between you and I, not referencing what videos you've done before, not referencing what's in the Bible. I am simply asking you, man to man, as a question. And you don't even remember what that question is.
Do you remember what the question was?
Yes. I asked you, is it the fact that it's just the name? Or do you have an issue?
What name? What name? Is it just the name? What name?
TheIndianJesus. That name. Do you have an issue with?
Of course, Lutch.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. So the question is, it's an either or. So either you only have a problem with me using the name, or you have a problem with me using the name and the content that I do.
Lutch, very simple. Okay, to answer your question, yes, I told you months ago I had a problem with your name. I emailed you as soon as you changed from
doesn't answer the question.
Didn't read your book
not complicated,
to the IndianJesus, and I told you it sucks. I don't like it. It's
okay.
blasphemy.
So let's try. You keep rambling, and I'll ask the question when you're done. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's blasphemy, but you want to keep going on with it. You already got the attention of some people that already probably, but I'm not here for that.
Then what are you here for? What are you here for? What are you here for then? Because I thought we were here for a conversation among men. But if you're not capable of that, what are you here for?
God?
No, I don't want to talk about God. Not really. If you do, I'm open to it.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about?
I just asked you the question.
If you don't want to talk about God, the only reason why I'm here is to talk about God. If you have any questions,
you threw it to me. You said, you start
about the Bible.
You don't seem to understand how conversations work.
If you have something that's confusing,
you go first. So I went first, and then you just ignored my question. You didn't even listen to it, and then you went on saying whatever you want to say. If you wanted to go first, then why didn't you just go first? So forget my question. You go first. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I want to talk about what makes you so angry.
You, people who don't listen, people who are judgmental, people who are tribalistic.
What about tribalistic and what about all of that? What bugs you about that? The fact that they don't let you speak your mind, they just cut you right off. Nobody's giving Lutch a chance to express himself, and Lutch has just as much right to express himself as anyone else, even though
do you not believe that?
Even though his views may be different than other people's, he still has the right to express himself. And I agree with you. I agree 1000% with you. Okay, so if the subject is it about atheism, is that what the subject is about today?
I don't know. I'm throwing it to you. I'm throwing it to you. You threw it to me, but you didn't like what I had to say. So we'll give you whatever. Okay. You said, Lutch, you go first. I asked you a question and you ignored it. So then you go first.
All right. Lutch, all the bottom line is all your questions, every question you got, not just you, Lutch, every question anybody has is answered in the Bible. That's all we're saying. It's in the Bible. You're not happy with your life? A lot of people are not happy with their life. Like I said, people have lost loved ones, and they blame God for it.
Well, according to you, it's because we were
not according
gay lovers,
to me,
right?
Lutch.
No, according to you, it's because we were gay lovers, right?
Ooh. Did I say anything about that?
Unless you're calling Darshan a liar, yes, sir, you did.
So what if you're a homosexual lover? Who cares?
I don't know. I'm not. That is precisely the question. If I was a homosexual, I would be out there and be all about my homosexuality. But I don't know how that came into the equation, because
the equation is, Lutch, you need God, because you say yourself that you say, well, it's not, atheism isn't necessarily I don't believe in God.
Right.
It's just
Words
that I hate God. Right?
No, wrong. I explained explicitly to you how that was not the case. Your inability to understand the English language is not my problem.
Lutch, I'm so stupid. Please tell me again.
You're not stupid. You're just arrogant. You don't listen. You think you know everything already.
I'm listening now.
No, you're not. What do you mean you're listening right now?
Tell me, what about atheism that you embrace? What about it is so fascinating to you? Being an atheist?
The humility to accept that there are things that I cannot know, and I will not claim to know them or not know them until I have the evidence to know them. That is the appeal. See, notice how every time you ask a question, I have a direct answer for you? Do you think I prepared for this? Do you think I have notes? I'm having a conversation with another man. This is how it's supposed to go. You ask me a question, and I respect you as a man by giving you answer to those questions. Why is it that you can't afford me the same grace?
You got another question? You got another question for me?
That is a question. Why can't you afford me the same grace?
I'm sorry, Lutch. Okay. I apologize.
I don't need an apology. I'm asking you why it is that you are unable to do this thing. There's a thing that you're not able to do, and the question is, why are you not able to do that? If you're so all-knowing, and you've got the Bible, and it's got all the answers, then how come you can't have a simple conversation with a young buck who thinks he knows everything, but you know better? Why is it that you can't have that conversation?
You won't let me.
Oh, I won't let you. I'm the one cutting you off and preaching about everything. Okay. My apologies.
You got the floor. You got the floor. Go ahead. I'm still waiting for you to tell me why you're so fascinated with atheism.
I just told you. I listed about 5 things. Do you remember what they were, or were you not listening again?
Say them again, Lutch, because they all sound ridiculous to me.
To understand that there are certain things that we cannot know, and I will not. I appreciate the willingness to stand on the notion that you don't know something until you actually know it. That's where faith comes in, is because you don't know what you're talking about. If you called it faith, or if you knew what you had faith in, it wouldn't be faith. It would be knowledge.
We do have the knowledge of God through the Bible. That's
no, you have faith in you have faith in God through the Bible. If you have knowledge, I am very open.
You have to read it to get
Again,
faith.
You're claiming that. Yeah. So let's go down the list of shit that you're claiming that I did or didn't do or am not. That you would have no way of knowing.
Lutch, please don't do that.
First, you think I'm a homosexual. Then you think that I haven't read the Bible. Then you think I haven't read history. Do I need to go on? Where are the things that I have? What are these types of accusations that I've thrown at you? I thought you were the righteous Christian man.
Okay, what's up?
This is Christianity?
No,
thank you.
No.
If this is how Christian people act, then no, thank you. Thankfully, I don't go on labels like you do. So I don't treat Christians as a monolith. I have many friends who are Christians because I treat them as individuals, which clearly you are incapable of doing, which is the exact point of the name of my channel. Is that it doesn't matter that you and I probably agree on so much about society, like I said the very first time that we spoke, but you can't get past the name. You don't care about the ideas. You don't care that maybe you and I could team up and bring religious values to the entire world. But nah. Who cares about spreading the gospel, right?
Well, let me ask this question, Henry. Is there a reason you wouldn't team up with him to bring a better solution to people who seem to be lost about God?
No, we could do that, Lutch. But the thing is, we have to be on the same page. Any team up, any partnership, any coming together, any meeting of the minds, you have to be on the same page.
I agree.
Okay, now,
Otherwise,
so let me
it
ask this
won't
question.
work. It won't
So
work.
let me ask this question: what's getting you two off of the same page? Why is it that you two can't get on the same page?
Because you
Henry,
won't
start
have a
with you.
conversation.
You start first.
Well, let's go ahead. You tell him.
I think
Let's
the
go
host. I
ahead.
think the host wanted to go to you, so I'm going to respect the host.
Yeah, Henry, why is it
Well,
that you
number
can't get on
one,
the same
Lutz, you
page?
got to. Okay, I was going to say, well, Lutz, you're trying to keep you. You want to keep it kind of personal between me and you, and even the title here, Henry versus the Indian Jesus.
I had
You
nothing
know,
to do with that.
we're yeah. Well, I know. I'm just saying that it's. How can you be on the same page with somebody if you're fighting against them?
I'll
Now,
tell you. Wait, that's a question. So I will tell
okay,
you by having rational conversations with them, by understanding that whether you believe what I believe or I don't believe what you believe, that I am a human being. I am a man who is capable of thought. And for you to sit down and have a calm conversation and find out what is it that I think and determine then that either those ideas are ideas that I can stand behind or those ideas are not ideas that I can stand behind. That's how. Instead, you just want to preach about the Bible. I'm trying to talk to you about why we should even care about what's in the Bible. And we can't even get there because
okay,
you're already trying to win the conversation instead of just answering questions.
okay. Why should we care about what's in the Bible? That's a question, and that is a question worth answering. If you are alive, you should care about what's in the Bible. You're here because of God, not no evolution and all the scientists and all of that crap. God knows that you were going to have all of these questions. He knows once he made the universe, made this planet Earth, created the people, the animals, the birds, he put everything here on Earth. This is heaven on earth right here. Heaven on earth, or it could be hell on earth. What makes the difference? Your attitude. Your attitude. Your attitude is everything. People, the bottom line of all of this is, and I'm not getting into this and that. The bottom line is you've got to come to God. You don't have to. Like I said, like all these videos are saying, you don't have to come to God. All this is about God. This isn't about Henry. This isn't about Lutch. This isn't about anything else that's going on in the world, people. This is about you. You're here. You
Okay.
don't care about what's really going on in anybody else's life. You know why?
Okay. So hold
Because
on. Before you get
you
up,
got too many problems going on in your own life. You got too many problems going on in your own life.
fair enough.
So
So hold on. So back and forth. So the question was, why should I care about what it says in the Bible?
because you're alive and you care about
Okay.
living.
You
If
said
you care about
if
if
you're
you care
alive,
about your life, you will care about what's going on in there. Well, you asked me, right? You asked me why should you care about what's going on in the Bible?
well,
The
right, but I'm
Bible is
just
filled with
recounting your
battle.
non-answer. I'm recounting your non-answer. So you said if you're alive, you're here because of God. God knows you'd have questions. He put everything here. That does not answer why the Bible specifically is the book that I should care about. The Quran has a lot of these answers.
I never read the Quran, so I can't speak on the Quran.
Maybe you should. How do you know it's
Well,
not better than the Bible?
if you've read it, maybe you could teach me something. What does it say? Does the Quran teach that there is a God, or is that
Of
man is
course.
God? Man
No.
is God.
That
They teach
Allah.
that they teach that there is a supreme being above
Yes.
all men and women
Yes.
and everything. Does the Quran say that? Well, I think it's what do they call God in the Quran? Muhammad.
Allah.
Allah.
Muhammad was Muhammad was more like the and I'm not a scholar by any means, but more like the Jesus figure. They don't they believe that Jesus was a person with an important person, but they don't believe he was the Messiah. They believe that it was Muhammad, and they don't believe that the Bible is inherently the word of God. They believe that's written by man, and that the Quran is the actual word of God through Muhammad's hands. So if you want to get closer to the word of God, we all admit as Christians, former Christians, that we know that while if you are a Christian, you believe that the Bible was divinely inspired, but it was accounts of human beings. In Islam, that's not it. That's why there's not a whole bunch of different sects of Islam. I mean, there are, but not like there is in Christianity, because it is in the inerrant word of God, direct from God to paper. So if I wanted to know God and I wanted to get in a relationship with God, why would I not read the Quran? And if you have such a great relationship with God, how did you not know that?
Because I didn't even read the Quran. I don't.
So that brings us back to our original question. Why is the Bible the one that I should pick?
You shouldn't. You have a choice. You don't have to pick anything.
No, but if I want to live a pious life, I want to live the best life I can. And if there is a heaven, I want to get in. If there is a benevolent God, I want to please him. I do that in my life. I just act as to the best of my moral ability every single day. That's all that I do. Not because I think that I'm going to get stricken down, but that's just how I want to live my life. But if I were to understand that there was in fact this is afterlife infrastructure, then I surely would want to do everything that I could to stay in line with what is the divine morality. So if this book says this, and a Spider-Man comic says that, and the Quran says that, there's people who will tell you that this is their Bible, and I'm being somewhat facetious with the Spider-Man, but point being that it's, and I'm not just saying it's just a book, but it is simply a book from what I can see as somebody who has no prior understanding of religion. If I were to come and see a Spider-Man comic and a Bible and a Quran sitting on the table, how would I know that I should go for the Bible if I want to have the best relationship with this God?
You have a conscience. Everyone's got a conscience. Even if you've never heard of the Bible, folks, even if you've never heard of the pygmies in South America, deepest, darkest points of Africa where tribes of people, they never seen white men or any other kind of man. But somehow, when the missionaries go in there and they finally get through to them, they all have a sense that there is a supreme being that's over everything. Even the most primitive of peoples knows that, number one, there's evil spirits around, and you got good spirits. There's good and evil, and even in their tribes, they know that there's good and evil exist. Even without hearing about the Bible, without hearing about God, without hearing about Jesus, without hearing about any of this. But they know. How do they know? Because they got a conscience. God gives every human being a conscience.
Okay, but all the things, hold on, because all the things that you said point to a God. So again, the question is, why Yahweh over Allah?
Well, in the Bible, there were 450.
But wait, now we've already established that I don't know if the Bible is something that I should be following. So you
read the Bible.
You read the Bible.
That's what you said.
Hold on. This is the conversation that we're having. You can't say, why should I think that the Bible? You should think the Bible is the inherent word of God because the Bible says it's the inherent word of God, or it's inspired by God. That's a tautology. That's a circular logic. That's like when they say a woman is anyone who identifies as a woman. That doesn't mean anything. So you can't say the Bible says that the Bible is God's word. Okay, that's just begging the question. Again, why should I use the Bible's word as supreme guidance?
You got a conscience. You have a conscience.
Okay, but that will show me there's a higher power, right? As you just talked about with the pygmies, they will understand that there's a higher power, and they have consciousness and good and evil and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah,
but that does not mean Christianity. That is not. No,
that's not Christianity. That's...
Okay, so then again, the question is, why Yahweh over Allah? Why Yahweh over Hindu gods?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it is.
God, well, I'm saying that you're saying, well, this God, that God, this God, and everybody's got a God. There's thousands of gods.
Well, trust me, I know.
People,
More than that.
well, God, well, you're right. There's millions of. As a matter of fact, you're right.
Everyone's got their own God.
Lutch,
Two of you don't
are
believe in the same thing.
absolutely right. Lutch, you hit that right on the button. So many gods. Every person who decides to turn their back on God, I'm talking about the one that you know. I'm talking about the one that's in your heart, the one that's in your mind. Your conscience knows that God, when you turn your back on him, you're right. And you decide, listen, I don't want anybody's religion. I don't care whose religion it is. I don't care. I don't want any of it. I don't want Jesus. I don't want Buddha. I don't want Muhammad. I don't want Confucius. I don't want none of them. I'm just going to run my life the way I see fit, the way I think it should be run. I'm smart. I got two eyes. I got two ears. Thanks to God, you got two eyes and you got two ears and everything else, and a mouth to communicate with and to eat and enjoy all the wonderful things on this earth. But when you got a whole bunch of gods going on, God says, again, back in the Bible, this is not a new idea, Lutch. Atheism and godlessness and multiple gods and just living my life logically, what makes sense, the common sense of it. I see that this is going on. I'm not stupid. I can figure things out. And God says, don't lean toward your own understanding, because that's what everybody's doing. You're leaning toward your own understanding. And God says, it may look like that, but that's not what the case. Looks can be deceiving. That's where we get that from. That real quick? Looks can be deceiving. So God says, that's why. But I'm saying, but the question is, why should I accept the Bible as the gospel truth above all other Quran, above Confucius, above all other gods? Because God proved that he is God above all the other gods.
Okay, so can I ask you a quick question about that? So you said that you can go and just do whatever you want to do and decide that I do what I want to do and I'm smart and I can figure it out, right? But how is that not exactly what you are doing? You have determined that the Bible is what's best for you, so you're doing what you think is best. You've figured out that the Bible is the way to the truth and heaven, and all of that. So how is it any different? How is that not what you're doing?
I want you to figure it out for yourself. That's why I do these streamcasts with Sean. I want you all to figure it out for yourselves. Okay, that the Bible is the real Bible, not the Quran, not Confucius, not anything else, not the Easter Bunny, not Santa Claus, not evolution, not Mother Nature, Father Nature, Sister Nature, Brother Nature, Aunt and Uncle Nature. The whole nature family. Right. Well, look at the expression you just had on your face. It's like,
because I get your point.
This is bullshit. You're right. It is bullshit.
No, it's not.
No. Santa Claus, evolution, Mother Nature. All these are attempts to take your mind off of God. All of this is designed to take your mind off of God. They don't want you to come to God, Lutch. Satan, I don't know how that's and the people that work for Satan, they don't want you to come to God. They want you to keep an attitude of, I don't believe in God, or I reject God, and I don't want to have anything to do with him whatsoever. God says, fine. God says, that's fine. You made your choice, but I let you have that choice.
Okay, so the question was, how is I do what I want to do and I'm going to figure it out on my own? The question was, how is that different than what you're doing? Because you've decided you're going to follow the Bible. You follow the Bible, correct?
Yes, I do.
So
as much as I can.
Did you? Oh,
as much as I can. Right. I'm not a saint all the way. Sure. I'm working.
So you've decided that following the Bible is the best way to live your life. You made that decision, correct?
Right.
So how is that not doing exactly what you just said you should do?
It's not different whatsoever.
Okay, so then what's the problem with me deciding there's a different way that I want to live my life?
That's fine, Sean. That's fine. But again, doesn't
seem fine with you.
Well, again,
Call
that's
me
why
gay.
I'm doing. again, that's why I'm doing these StreamYards. I didn't come up with this idea. It's the Lord put it on my heart to go in. Darshan asked me, we were on the show, and that was the 7 videos that we had put out there. Now, the reason is that, yes, I do believe in the Bible. Yes, I do think it is the book. I've heard people talk about the teachings of Buddha, the teachings of Muhammad, the teachings of other things, and that's great. But those are religions started by men, and they're all dead. You can go to their, this is where they died. This is the time that they were born. This is the time that they lived, and this is where they died. And they got a monument up there. This, to Buddha, a monument up to Confucius, a monument up to men. But Jesus Christ is the only person, I'm going to pull it from the Bible. There is no other name given on earth among men and women whereby we must be saved, other than the name of Jesus Christ. Now that's in the Bible. You can take that or you can reject it. God's not into arguing. I'm not into arguing. It's just that all this is about, Lutch. All this is about, people, is your relationship to God. You're not going to stand in front of Henry. You can say stuff about Henry all the hell you want to. Henry doesn't give a damn. I already told you all that. I already told all y'all that. All this is about is, if you have any questions, I'm not talking about questions related to me. I'm talking about the Bible. I'm talking about God. Like I said, this is not about religion.
Can I ask you a question about me?
Fire away.
If I'm going to name my channel The Indian Jesus as a quote-unquote conservative atheist, then why would I pretend not to be gay if I was gay?
Why do you
don't you think I would get more? Hold on.
Why do you even have Jesus? Why do you even have Jesus?
Hold on. I'm asking about the gay part, because apparently, ever since before I was the Indian Jesus, you thought I was gay. So
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
The fact that I'm not gay. I'm just curious why your mind would.
If you are or if you not, why is that important?
Can I ask my question? I think I just sat here quietly while you were preaching about.
Go ahead.
So, why do you think that if I was doing a gimmick, I would do something like call myself the Indian Jesus, the atheist, and not clean up on all the LGBT alphabet, whatever stuff that I could get by telling people I was gay? If I was gay, I guarantee you I would not hide it. But that doesn't seem. I'm just curious why it is that you not only originally thought I was gay, which I don't really care about, but after hearing that I'm not gay, that you would continue to push that as if that is something that A, I would hide, and B, that's a bad thing. So what? Okay. Do you think I'm lying that I'm gay?
Yeah, if you are.
No,
so
not
who cares?
No, wait. Yeah, if I was gay and I was lying, then yes, obviously I would be lying. I'm asking you right now. I'm telling you I'm not gay. If you are gay, anybody out there, that's perfectly fine. I happen not to be gay. If I was gay, I would not care enough to hide it. So I'm curious as to why you think that I would be hiding that.
I don't think you're very brave.
Why is that? You don't think it's brave to call yourself the Indian Jesus as an atheist?
I don't think you're very brave. Have you been in the police department? Have you? No. Have you been a paramedic?
Nope.
Ever worked for the fire department?
Nope.
Ever worked for any kind of government agency, even the Social Security office?
I work for I don't want to say the word, but self-deletion hotline.
Well, anyway, those are very brave people. People in the government, people in the military.
Yeah, those people are definitely more brave than me. So is your claim that everybody who's not a firefighter, policeman, military, that everybody is gay because they're not brave enough to? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Let me finish. You ask, you say, why do you think that I wouldn't admit if I was gay? Your question was, if you was gay, why do you, Henry, think that I'm not brave enough to say that I'm gay? Well, you say, what's the reason? And I said, it's because you're not brave. And if you were brave like me, I'm
brave like
I'll show you. Henry, I am a bisexual. I like both. It just depends on the girl, and it just depends on the guy. That's me. That's my personal reference. I'm not ashamed
So
of
that's
it.
even more
Listen,
confusing.
I'm just saying, I'm not ashamed of it because that's my business. That's between me and God. God knows my preferences. He knows this. He don't like it, but still, he knows about it. I'm not trying to hide it. Can't hide anything from God anyway. But that's my personal reference. It depends on the girl. It depends on the guy. If the girl is looking hotter than the guy, I'm going to go for the girl. If the guy is looking hotter than the girl, hey, the guy looks good, whoever. But that's my personal preference. I'm a bisexual. That's myself. I don't try to hide it. That's my preference.
So
But
it's your
yeah.
position that I'm a gay man who is
Well, will you admit
not
it?
brave enough
If
to
you
say it.
were, would you admit it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think so.
Then why are we having this conversation? If you're just going to make up your own conclusion.
I just want to mess with you, Lutch. That's all. I just want to mess with you sometimes.
Fair enough.
Because I do like
so
it.
we don't need to hang on that too much. I'm more interested, unless you had another question. I'm more interested in why you continue to claim that me personally, not just atheists in general, because I do know a lot of atheists who do in fact hate God, but I have claimed very specifically and explicitly that I do not hate God.
Well, why? Why don't you hate him?
Because I don't believe
you don't love him.
Yeah, I don't love
you
him
don't
because I don't believe
him, so you must hate him. That's
you go ahead.
Jesus
You go ahead. You go ahead, and then I'll answer your question when you're done. You're done? Okay.
He who is not for me is against me. What's so confusing about that, Lutch? What's so confusing about that?
So do you hate unicorns or you love unicorns?
We're talking about God.
It's an analogy. Do you believe that unicorns exist?
They did. They're mentioned.
Okay, what about leprechauns? What about
if you're Irish, of course you're brought up with it.
Jesus fucking Christ. Are we like
Did you just say Jesus effing Christ? Is that what you said? Hey, sorry, that's blasphemy. And again, that's why you hate God. Nobody who
No, I hate the fact that you can't answer a question. You're dancing around the point. You seem to be a very intelligent man. So you
No, I'm not, Lutch.
Okay, so then let me spell it out for you. So let me spell it out for you. Let me spell it out for you then. The analogy is there is something that I don't believe in, and you're claiming that I hate the thing that I don't believe in. Hold on! I was in the middle of a sentence. You are claiming that there is something that I don't believe in, that I hate that thing, and that I either have to love or hate it. And so the analogy is that here's something that you don't believe in. Do you hate it or do you love it? That's the analogy. So pick something that you don't believe in. A monster, werewolves. Do you believe in werewolves? Vampires? Pick one. Vampires or werewolves?
Well,
okay, I'll pick for you. Vampires. So do you hate vampires? Do you love vampires?
Do vampires exist?
Exactly, Henry. That is the point. You don't love nor hate vampires because they don't exist. And I might very well be wrong. But I do, in fact, believe that I don't have a belief in God. Therefore, it does not make sense that I would love or hate something I don't believe in. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Well, or are you just going to claim that I'm lying again?
Okay, you don't believe in anything.
No, I believe in a lot of things. I believe in love. I believe in friendship. I believe in community. I believe.
Wait a minute.
Sure.
You said you believe in love.
Yes, I do believe it comes from the Bible.
Love.
That's why we should be spreading. Yeah, that's why we should be spreading values that appear in the Bible without connecting them to what I interpret as silly myths and things that break the rules of physics. Things that simply don't make. Why can't we talk about loving each other? Why can't we talk about building community? Why can't we talk about having traditions and rituals? Full stop. Why do we have to bring God into it? If you want to believe in God on your own time and with you in a different context, fine. But as an American, should I not have the right to believe in these values without having to believe in the part that cannot be proven?
Oh, you have the right to do all of that, Lex.
Okay.
You have the right to believe in or not to believe in anything you want. That's one of the nice things about living in America. You have a freedom of choice here. You have a
Right.
freedom of choice
But I
here.
think you and I would both agree that the values that we're talking about, that very much do come from Judeo-Christian values, are lacking in a lot of people. I think you and I would agree,
I
that
agree.
that's a bad thing, right?
I agree 1,000% with you, Lex.
So let me tell you.
Go ahead.
So let me tell you exactly why I specifically named the channel what it is. I'm not even going to say it anymore.
Thank you.
I named it what it is specifically to make sure that I am challenging people to engage with beliefs, or excuse me, engage with ideas instead of beliefs and tribalism and groupthink. There is so much that you and I would agree on. There are so many things, Cherie. There's so many things that together we could explore. And as people who believe in the same values, but maybe not the same exact claims, that if those conversations had were more relevant, and I think so many people who are never ever going to be able to go back to believing in God might be able to inhabit some of those Judeo-Christian values that we all appreciate and we all agree here that will improve our society. Do you disagree with that?
No, I agree with it. But you can't have a utopian society being
Who's talking about utopia?
Well, even a society where everybody treats each other with respect, that has to come from, the person themselves. You won't, and it sounds great, Lutch. What you just said, I agree with you 1,000%. People don't have any morals out here. They don't want any. They don't have any sense of what's right and what's wrong, and they don't want it. If you try to tell them about it, listen, I don't want to hear anything about Mohammed. They don't care whose God it is.
Exactly.
They don't care whose God it is. Right?
I don't mean to interrupt you again, but this is the point that I make all the time, is that there's so many of these atheists who, even though you're just talking about the values, once they hear God, Bible, and they just completely tune out.
Exactly. That's right. So
hold on. So if those people they're already going to be tuned out of the specifically religious stuff, that we've lost that battle. Is it not better to at least bring them in on the values that we hold? So at least if they are godless heathens, that at least the morals they hold align with you as a Christian. Would that not be better than striking down anybody who's an atheist and making an enemy out of them and getting their defenses up?
Mm-hmm. Well, again, we're not here to piss anybody off. We're not here to anger anybody, even though that is the end result of what we're talking about in these StreamYards. We end up pissing a lot of people off. They get offended. Oh, Henry, you hurt my feelings. How can you say this? How can you do that? And like I said, folks, all of this has to do with your relationship with God. You say, talk to people. We want to have, we want to treat each other good, treat each other nice. We know what right is. We know what wrong is. If people would just treat each other with respect and dignity, we can have a wonderful country, a wonderful nation without God. The Romans tried that. The Medes tried that. The Macedonians tried that. The Egyptians, they had hundreds of gods. The god of the ocean, the god of the sky, the god
Sorry,
of the
Henry, you
clouds. They
skipped.
had hundreds of gods.
Henry, sorry, my computer skipped out for a minute. You said they have hundreds of what was it that you said?
Gods.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They have hundreds of gods, but there's only one true God, and that's the one that speaks to each and every single one of us in our minds and in our hearts and in our consciousness. That's why we know that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the God of the Jews, of the Jewish people. And reason why we know that is because we got a conscience. And like I said, if you never heard of the Bible, you never heard of Jesus, you never heard of anything else, everyone has a conscience. God made us. That conscience is God. He's up in your head, whether you listen to him or not. A lot of people don't want to listen to their conscience. They've severed their conscience. They've cut their conscience off because they're tired of God, which is their conscience, telling them what they're thinking is wrong. What you're thinking is wrong, what you're saying is wrong, and what you're doing is wrong. And people get pissed off. They don't want to hear that. You know?
So let me ask you a question about belief and I guess I'll just put myself specifically. Is it at all possible? Actually, no. I take that back. Let me take myself out of it. Is it at all possible that there is a person, just a random person, that genuinely has done everything that they possibly can to find God and doesn't? Is that a possibility in your mind? And so
no, it's not. I'm going to tell you why. Because if a person has lost someone dear to them, they're hurting. And then after the mourning, after the shock of losing that person,
especially if God takes them because you're gay, and right,
or any other reason, gay, straight, God takes straight people, gay people, he takes black people, he takes white people, and every people in between. He takes fat people, he takes skinny people. He takes all kinds of people.
It was just a joke.
Why? Because
it was a joke because you said my best friend was killed because we were gay, and God took him because we were gay. That was a joke. But continue your point.
Yeah, I know. I got it. But anyway, their salvation. Gosh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I lost track of what the question was.
All right, let's do this, fellas. Let's do this, fellas. Let's go ahead.
Well, anyway,
let's go ahead and give me each one of you. You guys,
the bottom line. Oh, you want to wrap it up, Sean?
Oh, well, one second, because okay. I see that it's mainly going back and forth in circles, but I want to do this. I want to bring a closing to this point. Do you think that you guys moving forward can come to a civil resolution that you just have to agree to disagree and that's it?
No, Lutch, I don't have anything against anybody. Only reason why I'm even on the channel is just time is running out, boys and girls. You see what's going on in the news. Thermonuclear warfare is here, whether you like it or not. In the Bible, in the book of Revelations, God himself is warning all of mankind of the coming war. It shall be a war like there was no war ever before it, and no war will be ever like it since it. That's where we are in Bible prophecy right now in the book of Revelations. We're at the brink of thermonuclear war. And God goes so far as to say this, people say, oh, well, there's not going to be any war because we won't let it. We're smart. We know that if we start doing this stuff, the whole world will be, damn near destroyed. That doesn't matter to evil people. Evil people don't give a crap about your family, your life, your lover. They're going to do what they want to do, too. Problem is, they got their fingers on thermonuclear weapons that wipes out massive amounts of people. The only reason why I'm mentioning this is because, folks, you are still alive. Every day, Lutch, you're alive today. hopefully you'll be alive tomorrow. Me too. But as long as a person is away from God and you're alive, that's a chance for you to get back with God. It's a chance for you to get back. Once a person dies and they die away from God, being good according to their own method, their own procedures, being good and holy according to me, that puts you in place of God. And so now you're the God of your life. And that's how God sees it. Either I'm the God of your life or you're the God of your life. It's just that simple. And like you said, a lot of people, they're the gods. There's millions of gods, and they've all made gods themselves. That's why the first commandment is, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." That's the first commandment.
Yep.
The G.
Y'all all break that.
Gods, small gods. You're all gods. You're all gods in your own mind, says God. But there's only one true God, and that's me. And the job's been filled, and so eat it, deal with it. And a lot of people say, well, then I hate you, God. I'm just going to be an atheist. I hate you. I'm going to deny you. I'm going to say I got here because of Mother Nature. I got here because of evolution. I'm going to deny you, God, because I know that irritates you. We're denying you, and it makes you angry. And you don't expect for him to punish you? Yeah, right. Anyway, Shawnee, what do you got to say?
All right. Well, here's what I
don't know
got.
if you want to wrap it up or want to go
No,
some more.
we got you. We got you. And the Indian Jesus, I'm going to put you on a solo screen. I want you to give me your 2-minute closing on this previous conversation and where you would like to go moving forward.
Thank you very much. Again, I am Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. And as we saw today, there are people who will judge you based on what you look like, what you sound like, what you label yourself, et cetera, et cetera. And I do not think that that is a good way to proceed in society. So what I try to do on my channel is to promote understanding people for they are and looking at ideas for what they are. Silly people can have great ideas and smart people can have terrible ideas. And so if we just follow the ideas, that is, in my opinion, from the best that I've seen so far, that is the best way to the truth. And that is the best way to ensure the greatest level of human well-being that we possibly can. We're not going to be perfect, but that is the most effective way that I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you two gentlemen for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Well said, Lutch.
Thank you.
And I definitely respect the both of you too. I hope that you guys will continue to have some conversations later on in future streams. We want to thank the entire audience for rocking it out with us. All I have is about a good hour of time. And I want to thank you guys for being there. If you guys want to stay in the back office just for a few seconds, I'll greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we had a Henry versus the Indian Jesus, and there wasn't really a debate that I was trying to egg on. I was more so just a firm grasp or understanding in life, just to get two people who see things differently. But at the end of it, they kind of have a lot of commonalities. We do this over here on wildpodcast.me. If you want to be a guest on the show, just feel free to email me at wildpodcast@mail.com. And again, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. If you guys have anything else to say, I'm about to close out the show and I'll talk to you guys in the green room.
I really just want to thank Henry for actually letting us sit down, have this conversation. I understand that I do, being brought up Catholic, I do understand that the name is not something that is going to sit well with you. But there was a whole thing. My mom is very religious and very not happy about the name as well. But, I said the same thing to her as I said to you, is that I think if we can get past that, then there's so much more good that can be done. And it's not just about me. It's about looking past the superficiality of other people. So I want to thank you for doing that and eventually allowing us to have this conversation. Because I don't know about you, but it does, in fact, feel like we do have a lot in common. Aside from the religious thing, I think culturally we would have a lot of things in common. So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Lutch. Thank you. Like I said, all this is about is A person's relationship with God. That's it. If nobody takes anything away from any of these stream yards that we've done, all this is about is you and God. That's all it's going to be about. When you're at home at night, everybody, when it's just nobody around, everybody's either they gone shopping, they gone to the movies, whatever. It's just you and God alone, and you're hurting. It's you and God alone by yourself. You're in the dark. That's when you talk to God. You talk to God when it's just you and him. That's all he wants. He doesn't care about what your friends think. Watch, he don't care about what your subscribers think. He doesn't care about what your friends think. He doesn't care what your family thinks. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. Lutch, he wants a relationship with you.
Well, I hope
Acon did not go to the cross for you. Nobody in your family went to the cross to save you. Nobody did that but Jesus, folks. That's the bottom line on all of this. People, they have their various reasons for hating God. Like you said, atheism doesn't necessarily mean that I hate God. I just don't believe it. Okay, I got it. But the deal is that there are people, plenty of people in this world that flat out hate God.
yes.
I'm not an atheist. I hate him. You understand that? I hate God. Well, why? And you ask him, why do you hate God? Well, he took my mama. He took my daddy. He took my brother. He took my sister. It's always comes down to somebody that they loved so much above God. And that's why he did it. He told us all, he warned us all that I am a jealous God. I'm a jealous God. I don't want you putting anything or anybody over me. If you do, I'll take it away from you. He says
that definitely puts a little more confidence in my position, knowing that I was an atheist long before I had ever dealt with an experience like that. But hopefully we can continue to have these types of conversations and work these things out.
Exactly. Right. But like I said, Lutch, I'm just glad that anybody, as a matter of fact, that's why we're doing these yard streams. Lutch, believe it or not, we're doing it to hook people in like you or people in that are not on God.
I'm willing.
They're not on God's side, but they don't hate God, but they just don't know. And I don't have enough information from the good or the evil to determine whether or not there is a God and whether I should follow him or not. So that's what life is all about, Lutch. That's what life is all about.
If Darshan will let me end on this,
to determine whether you're going to accept God or reject God in your life. That's the whole point of life.
Okay, so if I may, let's end on this. Let's have a challenge. Friendly challenge. I promise, as a man, my word. I mean, it's been what I've been doing, but I promise to continue to always be looking for the truth in religion as well as other places. I'm always looking for the truth. If you are able to convince me with me coming in absolute good faith, I promise you that I am not, just trying to win. I promise you I care about the truth. And if God is the truth and you can convince me, I will change my channel name. I will shout from the rooftops, Henry, convince me. And I am a bona fide Christian. If you can do that, I am more than happy to do that. It's recorded. It's on the record. Play it, clip it. It's out there.
Sounds good, Lutch. Sounds good. I tell you, I don't accept challenges because I usually win.
You got 1 minute.
But I'll just say we'll continue to have a conversation, and then you'll say, "Well, Henry, that's it. I didn't convince you. I'm just a tool. It will be God that will convince you to come over. Change your channel name." Lutch, like I said to you before, I thought I didn't read your book. I didn't read your book. I thought that was hilarious, and I'm going to tell you why. What better insult can there possibly be to an author to tell him that that's the name of your channel? I
exactly.
I thought it was hilarious, personally.
You insulted me. You didn't read my book at all.
Yeah,
what an insult!
I thought it was hysterical. I appreciate that. It's hysterical.
I appreciate. I
thought so
too. I do anticipate.
You mean this guy's got a channel? I'm an author, and he's got a channel, and the name of the channel, he wants to interview me, and I'm an author to talk about my book, and the name of his channel is "I Didn't Read Your Book." Oh, that was classic.
That was hilarious. It was classic.
Oh, beautiful, Lutch. Stay along those lines, buddy boy, and then hey,
anyway,
me and you, you on here, and we'll save a shitload of people. I'm sorry, I know
That's
we
all
can
good.
say it a little bit, but anyway, folks, we can, Lutz, you and I can feel it. You
We got
know,
another stream.
you stick with us. Like I say, you ain't that far gone.
I'm
Lutz,
not
by
going anywhere.
the fact that you're on this channel to even discuss it means you ain't too far from God. You're closer to God than you think you are.
Maybe.
So hey, we'll keep doing some more. We'll schedule some more. But Lutch, I'm not trying to convince you into something that you don't want to believe in. No,
Oh, no, I know. No. Just to be clear,
the facts
I
out
want to believe what the truth is. So if you have the truth, whatever it is, I want that truth.
there. You got it, brother. You
All right.
got it. Yeah. We'll set up another time to talk
right.
anytime you want, brother. Hey,
All right.
you're
You guys
making
take
me
it easy.
proud.
Stay in the back. Stay in the green room.
Naturally.
We'll catch you guys on the next go round.
But
Peace.
you said yourself you're looking to resurrect common sense. What common sense is there in blasphemy?
I don't believe that it is blasphemy.
Did you hear that thunder just now?
Yeah.
That
Is that-
it's storming and raining where I am in South Florida right now. As soon as you said I didn't think it was blasphemy, thunder just happened. Did you hear that, Mr. Lutch? Did you hear
Thunder
that?
in a storm?